Hey everybody, welcome to the main line. This is the Wrestle Kingdom preview edition.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the main line. Like Daniel was saying, tonight we're previewing Wrestle Kingdom. We're going to pay tribute to Brodie Lee. We're going to talk a little Impact, and we're going to reminisce about the year that was. But first, we'd like to talk to you about our other passion. Wrestling's not our only passion. Our other passion is keeping you from nicking your balls while shaving. So we'd like to talk to you about Manscaped. They're the best below-the-belt grooming company in the world. They're now available in the UK. I got one of these gimmicks, these third-generation trimmers with the ceramic blade. It reduces accidents. It's got a battery that seems like it lasts forever, Daniel. It's amazing. Not only that, they hooked us up with some of this cream. It keeps everything down below the belt at the proper pH and smelling good. So I recommend everyone checking out manscaped.com. And if you're listening to us right now, you can get 20% off and free shipping with promo code ML2020. It's been a while since I talked to you last, Daniel. How you been? How's your Christmas?
I'm doing good. My Christmas was very good, and it's also my youngest son turned 1 2 days beforehand, so we celebrated
that's awesome.
that.
Congratulations. Yep. Happy birthday to the young one. Oh, man, a lot has happened since we've talked to you last. So we're just going to get right into it because I know a lot of people are going to watch that Brodie Lee tribute coming up. So I want to just jump right into our Wrestle Kingdom preview, and let's start with night one. And we want to go backwards here, Daniel. We'll start with the main event and go down. The big event on night one is Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito in his second defense of that championship. Is this Ibushi's year, or is Naito going to remain champion?
I don't think it's his year. I think it's just a way to give him something to do. I feel like once Jay White came back, it's been all about him. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. His personality just fits wrestling, plus his gimmick. I think he's always going to be up there at the top, but he did win the G1, but for them to take it off of him, and then he's on night
for the second year in a row he won the G1.
Yeah.
Who predicted that?
Yeah, and then the same thing happened last year as this year. He won the G1, but he gets put into this situation where there's more than one guy up there, and he's put into 2 nights.
Yeah, being the first G1 competitor winner to ever lose their briefcase before Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, it's kind of a weird spot for Ibushi.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just a way to honor him and then to say that you're getting there, but we're not ready. I feel like he's going to lose this match because there's no way that Naito loses this when he's kind of feuding with both guys. They don't have him do this whole I'm going to defend it at both days to then just have him lose night one.
Well, and to give our listeners a little background, I don't know if everyone is a huge New Japan fan out there. We might have some new fans getting ready for Wrestle Kingdom. Kota Ibushi came to New Japan in 2009, and he left in 2016 to go to WWE to do that Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
He kind of got some heat for doing that, and he came back in the same year, and it didn't take him long. He saw what the WWE had to offer, and he told him to leave it. And he came back as a Tiger Mask, or an iteration of Tiger Mask. And he worked his way back up, and now he's here. He's at the precipice of being the guy in the company again, which he's obviously very capable of doing, because he's a stud. If you've never seen Kota Ibushi, he's kind of known for being more of a backyard wrestler. He's a little squirrely. He does some really, really dangerous things, but he is a stud. And then you got on the other side Naito, who this is his second defense after regaining the double gold after a really weird summer. Like he was the one who was on top at Wrestle Kingdom, but he couldn't celebrate because Kenta attacked him. And then it didn't really seem like he could celebrate because he immediately lost it to Evil. So he never really had a proper year with the belt. So you think that Kota Ibushi isn't even gonna see Jay White? Naito's gonna see Jay White.
Yeah, because just why the thing is, why would you have Naito go out his way to defend it on both days and specify that just to have him lose to Kota Ibushi? I know they have the whole thing where Kota Ibushi just keeps losing to Jay White, but
Plus, we technically had a Jay White match not too long ago. I could see
yeah,
where you're coming from there.
yeah, just to have him like lose it, like win, and then do the rematch right away. That's something where they can save the Ibushi for Jay White later down the line.
I
What
will
we
say,
haven't what we haven't had was Naito and Jay White because they have fought each other last year, and I think night one and Naito won that for the IC title. So it'd be a nice way to like flip the switch on it where he beats Ibushi and then it's him and Jay White because Jay White's been mocking him this whole time. Like, I'm waiting, and he hasn't really attacked him from behind. He's had help do it, but yeah.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think you know where my head's at. I've been saying it's going to be Ibushi's year from day one. I think he's going to go over Naito here. The only thing I could say is when you think that New Japan is going to do something, like when we thought Okada's streak was going to end, it didn't end.
Yeah.
When you thought Naito, this was the year, it wasn't the year. So I do think it's Ibushi's year. I think he's going to get by Naito, but I don't know what's going to happen in that Jay White match the next night. Let's move on to, again, we're going backwards here. So match 5, it's going to be Okada versus Will Ospreay. So we got the Empire, Ospreay's new faction, and they have 2 matches back to back here. We'll see how they actually, space them out, but it looks like they're back to back as of now. One versus Okada, and then you got the Great Okan versus Tanahashi. Do you think the Empire is going over here, or do you think they're gonna split, or what's your scenario here for the
I
Empire?
think all the work that they put into this, they're not gonna lose. They're gonna put Osprey over. They don't need to have Okada win this. That's the thing. Okada is already a made man. He is the Rainmaker for a reason because he's money. Yeah, in New Japan, he's been in the main event scene so many times. This is a way for him to give back to the company per se. And like he did last year, he was in the main event last year, and he lost. And then they started the KOPW trophy. He came up with the idea, and this is him just putting Osprey over to the next level because this was the first year that he came into the heavyweight side of the division because he's so known for being a super junior. He had half of the year cut out because of COVID, so he was able to bulk up, come back. He came back in time for the G1, and it was the perfect time for him. I even called this at the time, like I was saying, him and Okada would have been great because like that was his
Mentor.
his mentor faction leader, and he could turn on him saying, like the John Cena way, you're always cutting people back, and then because you want to be the top guy, it was like, I'm ready to be that, and I'm turning on you so I can continue my career and get to the top spot that you're so-called holding me back. And then that fit perfectly into getting Great Okan in, coming back from excursion, and then he pops up in the tag league and has Jeff Cobb, who cut a great promo a week or two ago, saying that you're going to find out why I joined, but not yet. It's not time for me to tell my story. And then
Do you think there's going to be clean wins here by the Empire, or do you think there's going to be shenanigans during both these matches?
I think the Great Khan Tanahashi won't be clean, but which it doesn't need to be because Tanahashi is on the end of his reign. So maybe that one will be clean, where Great Khan just wins because, as I just said, Tanahashi's getting old. But maybe they find a way to where Priestley costs Okada the match, because you got to put Will Ospreay over. He's high right now on like with his abilities, and you don't just have him do something big like turn on his faction and start a new one just to have it crumble 2 months later.
How many heels can you undercut? I mean,
Yeah.
they already undercut Evil this summer. They gave him the belt, and he was supposed to be a monster heel.
I think
he's not really a monster heel.
I think that was a different story because they actually put the belt on him, and he had it for 2 months, almost 3 months. So he had the belt for a little while. It's just that it was to build him up, per se, from being a tag team guy into a singles heavyweight, and the fact that that was their way of having him turn on his faction, just like Ospreay did with Chaos. He did that with I say LIDJ.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's tough. I really think they're going to split. I don't know how they're going to split. I mean, Okada beating Ospreay makes the most sense, but I kind of have a feeling that Tanahashi is going to get one over the Great Khan. So that's my prediction: Tanahashi over Khan. I'll take Ospreay over Okada.
Because they've been planting seeds that he might be retiring, but just with all like the losing he's doing, what benefit do they have of having Tanahashi win this?
Tanahashi just comes out for Wrestle Kingdom. Every time you think he's dead, he becomes reborn during Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know how it happens. He's going to have a great match against Okan. It happens every year. I don't know what to tell you. He's going to come out somehow. He's going to have a 6-pack.
But he didn't win last year.
Just gets ready. He just gets ready for Wrestle Kingdom every time. Yeah, he didn't. It's true.
Yeah.
Did you see Okan's record in the UK?
No, I did not.
It's ridiculous. He went over everybody. So he was a monster. So we probably shouldn't be surprised that he's going to get booked as a monster here. Let's move on from the Empire. Kenta versus Kojima. So this is a replacement match. It was supposed to be Kenta versus Juice Robinson, but Juice Robinson broke his face, right? He broke his orbital bone. So he's out.
Yeah, which sucks because they were planting the seed from the early part of the G1 climax, which once that happened, I was like, they're booking this. This is going to be a long-term thing. They're going to leave it alone and then come back to it. I just had that feeling. And then with how everything broke out in the G1, I was like, they're coming back to this. And it was set up perfectly because you had Finley and Juice Robinson, who had won the tag league last year. It looked like they were going to win against the GOD, who have never won that. That was the one thing that they haven't done. They won the titles. They won, I believe, the junior titles, but they never won the tag league. And then out comes Kenta. Once I saw Kenta, I was like, he's going to hit him with the briefcase.
That briefcase took a lot of beating. So that's what this match is for, is for the briefcase that contains a contract for a U.S. championship against supposedly Jon Moxley.
I don't get this right now.
We'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, I am a huge Kojima fan. I am a card-carrying Bread Club member. How much do you know about Kojima, Dan?
I know a little bit about him. I really don't care for him that much because, I don't know, like, maybe it's just because it's him now. Like, he doesn't do much for me.
So this is big. This is big for Kojima fans. This is his first singles match at the Tokyo Dome in 7 years. Like I said, he's got his social media Bread Club. He was a big partner with Tenzan. Do you know Tenzan the Bull?
Yes.
He screams something, before he gets up on the top rope every match. That thing he screams translates into "I'm coming for you, bastard," essentially, or "I'm coming for you, damn it." I love Kojima. He's my favorite New Japan dad. I kind of hope he beats Kenta. I don't think that's going to happen. That being said, is John Moxley in Japan right now?
I hope so, because it's been a year. No, I would say 10 months since he's defended it, which was the last time he defended it was, I guess, Minoru Suzuki when he beat him, and then the whole pandemic happened, and then he was over here, and then he won the title, the AEW title in February. So it was like you couldn't have him go over there and lose because he was the champion, and then he just kept it because of the whole pandemic. He couldn't come back over, so that just got prolonged. And then I think Kenta won this over the summer, like towards the end of the summer, and you're like, maybe they're actually have plant the seeds for him to cash it in at Wrestle Kingdom, and you're like, when is it going to happen? And then when Omega, like they've been planting the seeds, they had Moxley get attacked, which they still haven't said who attacked him yet.
Yeah, they still haven't said who attacked him.
They still haven't said who attacked it. He just assumed that it was Omega, and Omega was like, it wasn't me, but then he turned it to a heel, so to play into that. And then he finally he's coming back. So I'm hoping that maybe like they have Kenta win, and then Moxley appears after that, and then they do like a Kenta versus Moxley on night 2 to finally take the title off of Moxley and put it on the Kenta.
He's got to be in Japan, right? Because like, when's the last time we saw him on AEW? It's been like way over 14 days, right?
Yeah, but
so that's his quarantine time right there. Everybody in the world says he's not going to be there. So, Tony Khan says it's not going to happen. Mox says it's not going to happen. New Japan says it's not going to happen. That means it's going to happen, right? Yeah. Mox is going to be there, I think.
Yeah, he has to. They can't just carry this on anymore to where it gets to the point where it's been a year and then that U.S. title doesn't get defended or anything. It's bad enough right now, to me, that the IC title is not defended because it's combined with the world title. I think that they need to, like, after this, break it up into 2 different titles. But now you got the U.S. one, so that's 2 different titles that aren't getting used.
Yeah, the IC and the U.S. title. There's just nothing's happening with them.
Yeah, but I hope they do something with it. But right before we get to the next match, don't hesitate. If you have any comments you want to put in, definitely hit us up with comments or opinions, and we'll get right back to you. That's what we do. But if you want to go after that, you want to go into the next match.
Yeah, man. Zack Sabre Jr. Tai Chi versus Tongaloa and Tama Tonga, the GOD, the Gorillas of Destiny.
Against the Dangerous Techers.
Yeah, against the Dangerous Techers. Haku's boys versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi.
Yep.
The champions. Who do you got?
I got GOD. I feel like it's been a slow thing. I feel like they're hot right now. They have the new kind of inverse version of their entrance music and video. They kind of like it was like this, but they changed it up a little bit, and then they added Gato to the mix with them, like coming out now, and they're just hot. They keep winning, and then they did beat Dangerous Techers and kept them from advancing to the finals of the World Tag League. And I think they've been going over on the road to Tokyo Dome. So I have them winning this.
I want them to win it just because I want to see Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi in singles action. So like you said, I want that Intercontinental title broken up. I want to see Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi competing for it.
Yeah, because they technically they don't need it. Like they had it on there because they're the only ones with the. Well, Suzuki had the never open weight for a little while, but they're the only ones with titles in the faction. But now they have Desperado and Kanemaru as the junior champions in the faction, so they can take these titles off them. and then make them go into singles.
Last match of the night, or it'll be the first match since we're going backwards here. Hiromu Takahashi versus El Phantasmo. I am not a big El Phantasmo fan. I really hope Hiromu goes over so he can face Ishimori in night 2 for the junior title. What do you think's going to happen?
All right, first we got Josh saying, "What up, boys? What's up, Josh? You guys did a great job on RSH. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out in a little bit on Twitter or on Facebook. They did a review of the Slammy Awards, and then they did a little tribute to Brodie Lee. They're usually on Thursday nights at 6, but they came on tonight because of the New Year's. So definitely check it out. Great show, and you guys did a great job tonight." And then he said, "Appreciate it." And then with this match, this is definitely going to be Hiromu. I just saw, though, that they patented El Phantasmo's new entrance. He had to change it up because of, was it copyright, or because in the Super J Cup, his entrance music was muted on live TV.
I heard he was going to get a new entrance, but I didn't hear it was because of copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Is it because they don't own the Bullet Club song?
I don't know, but they said they had to make a new one and then get it patented and then approved. So he has a new one.
He's going to have a new one. Yeah, he'll have a new entrance. He'll probably be wearing that shiny jacket he won for winning the, what was it, the Super J Cup?
Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna lose. I feel like this is Hiromu's time. We talked about this on past episodes of the main line, that he's bulked up with the time that he had off from the injury, because he's getting ready to move up to heavyweight, because you don't get that big. Yeah. He got big, and then Will Ospreay got big, and Ospreay already moved up in the G1, but because Hiromu was hurt, he didn't do the G1. He stayed and was like, "I want to do one last year, the Super J, Super Juniors," and he did that. He wins. Him and El Desperado have probably, in my opinion, the match of the year.
We'll talk about that a little bit more later in our end of the year segment. But if you guys haven't watched that, go look up that match. Yeah, it was a banger. Yeah, I agree with you.
But I think Hiromu's going to win, and then I feel like I won't go too much into night 2, but I think he's going to win that, because I feel like that he's going to win the title, but then he's going to give it up and be like, "This is my last hurrah. Like, I wanted to beat this guy, the Super J Cup winner, and then I wanted to win the belt, but now I'm moving up," and it's going to be kind of like next year's, or I should say, the year 2021 is going to be a year of Hiromu.
I hope so. So they're going to open night 1 with the New Japan Rumble. Yes. Online, I think it says the New Japan Rambo. That'd be a lot cooler, the New Japan Rambo.
Well, that's what it's called. They're calling it the Rambo, because what it is, it's going to be, you have several different ways to eliminate people. It's not just put them over the top rope. You can pin, submit, or put them over.
Oh, we've seen this many other years. Yes. It's gone away for the last couple of years. I'm really glad it's returning.
And then the winner is going to face I think Turano, I believe, on night 2. I believe that's what it is, or the last 4 people, or something like that.
Oh, is it the last 4 getting the KOPW? Is that how it's working?
I think that's how it's going to be, because I think the way I saw it is they're going to do the Rainbow, and it's either the last person or the last 4 people are going to fight each other in a fatal 4-way.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the winner gets the crown, the KOPW inaugural.
So who do you want to see? Yeah. Anybody, a lot of times in these New Japan Rumbles, anybody can be in it. Who do you want to see in it? Here, let me give you a couple of mine while you're thinking about it.
Chase Owens.
Chase Owens would be a good one. I want Leo Rush. I would like to see
Yeah,
Danny
right.
Limelight. I would like to see Shota Umino, the young lion.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think logical of who's going to win that. Just because it's going to be somebody that's
Oh
already
man,
there. Maybe
logically, so
Carl
okay,
Fredericks.
let's look at this. So it won't be Hiromu, Phantasmo, Zach, Tai Chi, anybody in God, Kenta, Kojima. Man, who's left? So it's like the New Japan dads outside of
Show.
Kojima.
I could see Show.
Show is not doing anything. Is Yo healed?
I think he's close to. I think they said he's close to, and he might be ready by the end.
Suzuki doesn't have anything to do here.
No, he does. No, he doesn't.
Well, he was challenged by one young lion Uramura, right? Is that what you're talking about? Could that go down in this match? Do you think a little bit of young lion versus Suzuki action?
It could, but I'm telling you,
Ishii could win this.
Yeah, I feel like Show would be a good one.
Okay, so hold on. Sho, Ishii, Suzuki,
Robbie Eagles.
And who?
I said
Robbie Eagles.
Yeah.
No, that's a good match for KOPW right there, I think. All right, book it. Let's move on to night 2.
Okay, night 2, which is the next night.
Again, let's go backwards here since we're trying to move a little quicker tonight. The winner in night 1 gets to face Jay White. So either Kota Ibushi or Naito. Do you got Jay White or the Field?
I got Jay White. Come
Jay
on,
White.
Let's be realistic. Like I said, he's great on the mic. He's probably, to me, he's one of the best people on the mic. In all wrestling right now. Other than the Fiend, I got them head to head. But just the way he works, just his demeanor, his confidence, he's won it before, but this is the perfect time to put it on him again, and then have him get one over on Evil because of a little faction rivalry going on, and then just the way he's been mocking Naito. It's the perfect way to end the Wrestle Kingdom is to have him win it. But then what could even top that is to have Evil come out, even if he wins or loses his match, which we'll talk to in a bit.
Yeah, coming up.
To have him congratulate him, but then to hit him with everything is evil. That would make it even better. Because then it'll be a great.
Is that a good enough ending for the biggest night of the year? Is Jay White holding up the title and everyone booing?
Well, that's what I said. You got him holding up, but then everybody's booing, and then Evil's there, and then he just hits him with his finisher.
The Japanese crowd really does love their Evil, so you're right. It might work. And then, there's a disconnect there with American fans.
Yeah, and then that's not him turning face again. That's just dysfunction going on in the Bullet Club, which everybody wants to see. It just hasn't fully happened. We've seen a little of it when Cody and Kenny were in the Bullet Club, but that was more of like the elite than it was Bullet Club.
Could dysfunction in the Bullet Club cost Jay White the win?
No, I don't think it could, because I think it's just going to be him and his guy there, and
him and Gato.
Gato, that all the names are like Gato, Jado.
They'll have a spot where they toss Gato out. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna get tossed out, but it's gonna help Jay White, and I feel like he's gonna have his feet on the ropes, or it's gonna be a distraction. Then he's gonna hit the Blade Runner. It's just gonna happen. Like Night 2's been on. He's had a year to remember. Like. He's so used to being the bridesmaid, and then he finally wins it. at the last Wrestle Kingdom, and he's had it all year. He's been on a big run of nonstop, except for when he lost it to Evil, but then he won it back 2 months later. Like he's been on a high, and then it's the perfect time to take it off of him, and then to put it on heel now, and then to give it to Jay White, because Jay White really didn't have a big run. He had it for like 2-3 months, and that's it. When he should have had it longer.
It would kind of be weird if Kota Ibushi wins it and then loses it to Jay White.
Yeah, that's another reason why I think he's going to lose.
Because it would be like a day reign. It would be awful. Poor Kota Ibushi. But that could happen. If anyone's going to do something like that, it's Jay White.
Yes.
So I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I kind of have a feeling Jay White is going to walk away and we're going to get a sad ending to Wrestle Kingdom. Or happy, depending if you're a Jay White fan or not. The fifth match of the card is the winner of the Hiromu Phantasmo match versus Taiji Ishimori in his first defense of that belt. It's got to be Hiromu. If it's El Phantasmo, we riot. Because no one wants to see El Phantasmo versus Ishimori. They're both in the Bullet Club.
Well, it would be a good match. It's just that they're both in the Bullet Club, so unless they're actually like going straight into like the full like dysfunction of the Bullet Club, like if they want to dive right into it.
If they want to make Night 2 dysfunction of the Bullet Club, that would actually be very good.
Where they have these two fight each other, and then it just go crazy because both of them want to win, and neither will want to go down.
You could have different members. You know, this could be where the cracks form.
Yeah, but I still think Hiromu's going to win, and then I think he's going to win. He's going to give it up, move up to heavyweight, and then I think somehow these two are going to be like, I want a shot at this, and then maybe they do it afterwards, after like the say what I said with Evil attacking Jay White after Jay White wins.
After the year Hiromu had, I'd really be surprised if it's not him standing, with the belt at the end of this fifth match on Night 2. So because
I'm playing this to where at Shingo Stadium in August, what I want to see is Hiromu against Jay White, and I want to see Hiromu winning the title. That's my end game. Is I want to see that happen because Jay White is a great talker, but then Hiromu Takahashi is crazy, and he has that. He's got that
the it factor.
That it factor attitude, the confidence. He walks out the way he walks out, just like he's good on the mic as well.
He oozes charisma. I hear what you're saying. He's a top guy.
Yeah,
I'm with you, especially after the year he had. We'll talk a little bit about the end of the year stuff later.
Yeah.
So the next match is the match you're probably looking forward to the most because this is what you wanted originally as the title match.
Yes.
You get it in Wrestle Kingdom, but for no title. Sonata versus Evil. They get to blow off their feud in the Dome. Two tag team partners they're becoming a pretty accomplished tag team when they were going at it. Who do you got? You got Sonata, right?
This is the good old grudge match, as they would say.
This could be a show stealer.
This could, because this has been they've been playing this seed since the spring, since March, or no, was it? I think when was it when they had Evil turn on Naito? Was that May or June?
It was right after that tournament. So he won the tournament. Naito came out to congratulate him. Yeah. It was the New Japan Cup.
Yeah, I think it. You know what? I think it was May or June because it was.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
And then they went right into it. So they've been playing it since then. And then the Sonata's character they call him the Cold Skull because he's even keel. He has no expressions. And he just, the way he wrestles, it's just very technical. And it's kind of been boiling over because you see Naito have reactions. Even Hiromu have reactions when he fought Evil, like you betrayed us, but you never saw Sonata do anything because he was his tag partner, and then you always wondered how does Sonata feel about the betrayal.
How did you
And
like Sonata's freak out the other day? So Sonata freaked out and just beat the holy hell out of Evil. All
he just went nuts, and it was all spanned from Dick Togo wrapping the wire around him. He wrapped the wire around him, and then all of a sudden you just see the flip of a switch, and then Sonata just went crazy, beat the shit out of him, beat the shit out of Evil, chased him out, and then you see Shingo standing there like, what just happened?
Did you see Dick Togo got Sonata again with the wire at the press conference?
I did not see that. I saw the backstage where you actually see the extra footage of them going backstage, and then you see Evil throw a chair at Sonata, and then you see him and Dick Togo just run up the steps, and then you see Sonata look and then just walk down the hallway to the left. And then they've been doing this road to Tokyo Dome where it's been Sonata and whoever else. Like one night it was Hiromu, I think, and then the other night it was Bushi or something like that against Evil and Dick Togo, and they've been trying to put Evil over, but I think this is them eventually putting Sonata over right now because they've already put the belt on Evil. They need to put Sonata over because of how good of the underrated year that he's had. He's kind of had a breakout year without having to win anything.
Yeah, it really sucks for both these guys because they both really could use a win right now, Sonata and Evil. But I kind of agree with you. They got to push Sonata eventually. This guy is a big deal.
How many times are they going to have him be the bridesmaid in tournaments where he always gets to the finals and then loses?
Yeah, he always loses the big match.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a little fire out of Sonata too here, which will be really cool.
Yeah.
The next match we have is for the Never belt, Jeff Cobb versus Shingo Takagi. So how can Shingo not win this match? Interference from the umpire aside, Shingo goes over.
This is tough for me because I agree with it. Part of me wants Cobb to win it just to keep the dominance going in the faction, but then you just said Shingo win it back at Power Struggle, but then once again, me inside is like, well, you had to do that so then you don't have two heels face each other in Suzuki and Cobb. So it's the only way to put it on a face to then put it back on a heel so that they can be draped in gold, as you would say, like with the Never Open Weight and then the British Rev Pro Championship. But I don't see why they would take it off with Shingo right now. Maybe they take it off at the next pay-per-view. But I think this could be a sneaky match of the night with how these guys wrestle.
I'd like to see that Never title stay on somebody instead of getting hot potatoed. I'd like to see Shingo make a run out of it.
Well, they only had one switch off the whole year, and that was when Suzuki won it. And
then he switched it back. Yeah,
and they switched it back, but that's it. It really hasn't gone anywhere else. So we have seen it not go anywhere really, just once compared to. Just like the war title, it was once. It was all Lento. So and then even the tag titles. I think in the beginning,
titles have been all year. Yeah, really.
Other than once or twice, they've been all year. So we really haven't seen other than the one change where the boat changes at the Shingo Stadium. We haven't seen much of title changes. So I need to see. A title change. So if the world title changes, then I'm okay with this staying put. But I can't see like a whole Wrestle Kingdom where they don't have a title change at all.
They're going to have some title changes. So, I mean, I think the big one, is going to be the junior belt. So Hiromu's going to pick that one up. I don't think Naito's going to leave with the championship, so that one goes somewhere else. Shingo's going to keep that one. Speaking of title changes, the next match, the second match of the night, Kanemaru versus El Desperado in their second defense against Master Wato and Taguchi. What's the over under on cheeks that we're going to see in this match? Are we going to see Taguchi's full ass? Are we going to see half his ass? How much of his ass are we going to see?
Before we go into that, I'm gonna play the social media video for you guys. We have several social media outlets for the Buzz, which you can follow at WTB.com. And then here's all the places that you can find us at.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I'd go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity, so come and check me out now. I'm a necessity, so come and check me out now.
And just like I said, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter under WTB.com. And then you can also follow us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. It's www.youtube.com/WTB.com. Slash Buzz 2020. But coming back into this, it's just like you said, it's the Super Juniors tag team.
It's the junior tag belt. So
yeah.
First of all, are we going to see Taguchi's ass? And second of all, does Taguchi have any shot with Master Wato as his partner?
Yes, he does. I think we see his cheeks a few times in this match. Like you can never get too much of them in New Japan for a match, and I think that I don't think they win, but they come close. Like Master Wato has had a good run so far since he's come back in the summer.
I don't know, man. He's been a mixed bag. Like there's times where he looks good, and then there's times where it's like he's gonna kill somebody out there. So I don't know about Master Wato. Like the jury's out as far as I'm concerned. I'm not convinced. I really like Kanemaru and Desperado. Kanemaru is underrated. People forget that he was like an ace in Noah. He was like a top junior. And we all know what El Desperado did against Hiromu. He's a top guy too. So I find it really hard to believe that they're going to win.
I think that they just plugged him in. They want to give Master Wato a match, but then they don't want to rush him. Like I said, he had a good Super Juniors tournament, and they came close to being in the final, but then he didn't make it. He was 2 points behind, but he had a nice debut. And then, of course, his mentor was Tenzan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be in their corner, and it'll be I think it'll be a perfect way to have Suzuki in Suzuki Gun's corner. That'd make it pretty cool if they did that.
So the last match the first match of the night, but last one we're going to talk about here, as far as the main card on Wrestle Kingdom, the KOPW 4-way. So I think we said it was going to be Suzuki, Ishii, Sho. I'm going to make a change. Goto is probably going to be in that match too, don't you think?
Goto? He could be, but then I don't know.
Apparently, whoever wins that Rumble match on night one.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe bet, but who knows who's going to be in that KOPW match. Do you think it's what they wanted it to be? Do you think it was successful in its first year?
I think it was just because of who had it, Toru Yano, because of his personality, just like R-Truth in the WWE has made the 24/7 title kind of fun.
The title really was the New Japan 24/7 title this year. It totally was. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, and they haven't really defended it too much. I think just power struggle, and then on the road too, they did something with it. But yeah, like
Really, I thought the best thing we had was that match recently where they had the body slam match. So I guess according to that, Yano is the KOPW 2020, right? That's it. It's over, and we crown a new one coming up. So
they crown it, but
he held it bell to bell essentially.
yeah, then he had the comedic points in matches, like bringing it out. He had the sash on and everything. He made a big like spectacle of him winning it, and then his personality made it even better. Just like whoa, 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 whoa. He had to get ready, spray this and that because of the pandemic. Like he made it what it was into something even better. And then it would have been better to see him defend it a little bit more, but at the same time,
probably COVID stuff, I would assume.
But at the same time, it was nice that like we were saying that who wants to see him win it, and then he goes out there, wins it in the best Yano way possible with the schoolboy roll up, and then it goes and holds it the whole time and looks good doing it because of his personality. Like you could get tired of that, but just his reactions and then the way he presented it was just flawless.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun. I don't know if it was what I expected it to be, the KOPW. Like I said, I just wanted more matches. I wanted to see a ladder match. I wanted to see some real, like, stips.
Yeah.
And we really didn't get that. We do have two other matches that'll be on the card, but unfortunately, we won't see them again this year on New Japan World or Fight. It is our Stardom matches. So, Tam Nakano, Mayu Iwatani versus Suri and my girl Julia. So I'm excited about that match, but we're not going to see it, which kind of sucks. And then we have Queen's Quest versus Donna Del Mundo in the opener, the curtain jerker, which, again, that is pretty cool. You got the Stardom champ in that match, but, again, we won't see it. Yeah. Do you think they should air these, Daniel?
I think they should air one of them, but I know why they're not, because they like to keep things separately. They like to keep the promotion.
I think it's just a channel thing. So because the two promotions they're owned by the same company, Bushi Road, but they're on two different channels. And I think that's kind of where the mix-up is the other channel doesn't want Stardom on the channel that Wrestle Kingdom will be airing.
Well, it's that. Plus, they have their own networks. Like you got Stardom has its own app, and then New Japan has its own app. So they're kind of the only reason that you can see Bray Priestley is it adds another dynamic to the Empire. Plus, she's dating Will Ospreay, so and she's not wrestling; she's just being a manager. So I think they allow that to happen. That's like a special thing that they allow to happen because she's not wrestling, of course. But with this, like, there's too many things to deal with. Just like you said, two different channels, two different apps that both things uses. So
like you mentioned, tradition has a lot to do with it too, Daniel. Like a lot of the old school guys don't want to mix their Joshi wrestling with their, strong style.
And it's basically two dark matches because they have them listed as exhibitions. That's what they have them listed as. So
yeah, I don't know. I think it sucks. Like they should air these matches. Like last year we got a match with Hannah, and she's dead now. Like so, we'll never see the biggest moment of her career that could have been. It was a pretty good match, even though they had like 5 minutes. And I expect these girls will probably get about 5 minutes apiece too for each of their matches.
I wonder if the Stardom app if they may like show these matches, or if
Yeah, they may be. I don't know. It's a good question. I hope so.
yeah,
Because people need to see Julia. I talk about this all the time whenever we're talking about the best women's wrestlers today,
yeah,
and Julia's it. In my opinion, she is the best women's wrestler today. But most of the people, especially in our group here at the Buzz, they've never seen her.
yeah.
So I would love for her to get a actual spot.
Well, up there a couple of years ago, no one saw Io Shirai or Asuka. Then they came over here, and Io Shirai's been like a breakout star. So you never
Yeah,
know.
these girls are awesome, and we've caught on to the men. I don't know if the United States has fully caught on to Joshi wrestling, and they,
Yeah,
like we've talked about in the past, they kind of make it a little tough with the way they air their programming.
yeah,
But people, if you're watching right now, go out and look up a Julia match. Look up a Julia versus Hannah match, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
yeah.
They Stardom also got a new fancy logo this week, which is kind of cool. And I don't know if you heard this, but Riho might be done with Stardom. Do you think that means she's heading to AEW? We're going to get some of this influx of talent back.
I don't know. Like I wasn't a fan of Riho to begin with, so I hope she stays over there because I didn't dig the whole like I could beat up so much and then I just win by a roll up. I wasn't a fan of that. It wasn't realistic to me because of how skinny she was. She has no meat on her whatsoever. Like you can Asuka and Io Shirai, you can realistically think that because of their build. And then she has no build to her. I feel like she looks like a teenager. Like she can wrestle. Like I've seen her wrestle with stuff, but like I'm just not a fan of her.
I think her selling is awesome. And yeah, I can kind of see where you're talking about, but I don't know. It's wrestling. Like a lot of this stuff is kind of unbelievable. You got to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Well, I can see the sell and like I can get that, but there's only so much you can sell when you get beat up so much.
Yeah, it's true. She does get tossed around like a little rag doll. But yeah, I would like to see some of these girls come to AEW. They need women's wrestlers. So I'd like to see Rio come back. If they could make some kind of partner with Stardom, that would be awesome. I don't know how that would work. Maybe if they open the forbidden door here with New Japan, it would just be, something they do with Bushi Road.
All you gotta do is call Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to talk a little bit about Impact, Daniel.
Yeah.
Have you been watching or paying attention to Impact at all?
Not too much because it's usually on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, we were hoping to have Tyler here, but unfortunately he was having a little bit of technical difficulties. So shout out to Tyler. Hopefully we'll get him back next week.
Yeah.
So Impact has been kind of dealing with a invasion here with Kenny Omega, which is kind of cool. So they have two events coming up. And they, Impact Genesis, which that is on January 9th. The big matches there's a Moose versus Willie Mack I Quit match. Have you ever seen Moose or Willie Mack?
Yes, I've seen Moose, and I've seen different variations of him. You had him coming out, I think it was 2 years ago when it was him against Austin Aries for the title. I saw that when he did the whole pump up in the air, Moose.
Yeah,
Moose.
yeah.
And he turned into this heel where he thinks he's bigger than life because he was a football player and then now he's a wrestler. He's kind of done the Bobby Lashley version of Impact, how Bobby Lashley was the walking Armageddon.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, in a different way. He's doing that. And then he's been parading around with the TNA title. Saying,
yeah, the real championship.
That's the real championship since the championship wasn't there when Tessa Blanchard won it. Like she was
no showing.
She was no showing because she was in Spain No, it's in Mexico, and then the pandemic happened, so she couldn't get over, and then she just decided that she had to stay there, and then they wound up stripping her of it.
It should be a fun match. Willie Mack is underrated. If you haven't seen Willie Mack, you'll see him come out and you'll be like, oh man, I don't know how this guy is going to compete against Moose, but he's a fun wrestler to watch. I recommend it. They're also going to host this Super X Cup, and there's a lot of good wrestlers in there. It kind of reminds me. It's obviously a copy off of something New Japan does, except they're using their X division for this. They also have the Impact Hard to Kill coming up in January 16th. So the big match that we haven't seen yet, if I'm correct, is we don't know who's going to face Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz for that Tag Team Knockouts Championship that they're doing. So I believe we're waiting. What is it? The winner of Havoc. And it's going to be Grace and Jazz, right?
Yes.
Jordan, Grace, and Jazz. I'm going to pencil that in. Screw the other team. It's going to be Jordan, Grace, and Jazz versus Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz.
One match you didn't mention. You mentioned the Moose and Roy Mack. Let's not forget the 6-man match, the 3-on-3.
Well, hold on. I haven't gotten to that yet because Genesis is different. That's on January 9th. That's the Moose match. Impact Hard to Kill is on the 16th. That's the Knockouts Championship match. That's the 6-man match you're talking about with Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, versus Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. That's going to be a banger.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because we got both world champions, and then we got two decorated tag teams.
Two of the most decorated tag teams of all time. Like, the Good Brothers, they've been everywhere. Same with Motor City Machine Guns.
I think they're the only tag champions to be in every platform because they're the only ones that have won the New Japan tag titles.
Yeah, for sure.
Them, the Impact, and the WWE tag titles.
Also on that night, there's the X Division Championship, Manic versus Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju for that X Division Championship in this 3-way. I think Chris Bay is going to win, but Raju, he's still making that X Division thing a part of his gimmick, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the belt back. We also have the Knockouts Championship, Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie. I know you've seen both these ladies wrestle. Who do you got?
You see, like in the Impact I've seen Deonna Purrazzo. She's very underrated. She has come in from NXT and made a name for herself right away with the technical prowess and her submissions and then her personality. She's added that to her mainstay, and I feel like she should win this.
I think she's gonna. Yeah, Taya Valkyrie has kind of had her day.
She's like with Jordan Grace. Like she had her run, and then they had Purrazzo beat her because of the submission.
Yeah,
and I feel like it'll be the same way. Just have her do that. Have her hold it for a while, and then have it mean something instead of every couple months have a new person win. Like Taya had it for a while, and then she lost it. And then that was okay with her because she was able to build a new, not gimmick, but new personality out of herself from that, being with Rosemary a little bit. And then now she's back to this. But now you can let Deonna Purrazzo build off of her momentum and then keep it up.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think the two most certain things is Purrazzo's probably going to retain. And that Kenny Omega is hitting Rich Swann with a one-wing angel, and he's pinning him. That's going to happen, right?
No,
it's not going to happen.
No, I think that's why they had the tag teams in this match is so somebody else takes the pin, and you can prolong this even longer into eventual winner take all match.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I really think he's gonna pin,
It's just
Rich Swann. He's gonna pick up that title. He
what,
may even eventually face Moose for that TNA title.
what does this do for Impact to have their champion lose cleanly?
Because once Kenny Omega gets that Impact title, it's going to be a thing. He's going to be in his Thanos. He's going to be in Thanos mode, man. He's going to get the Impact. He's already got the AAA title. He's already got the AEW title. He's in his Thanos mode. He's collecting.
Yeah, but
And
you don't waste the pin on Swan now. You have him pin him for the title.
I think it's like New Japan, if you pin the champion in a non-tags or non-championship scenario, like in a tag match, you get the, challenge opportunity.
But when has it ever happened where they've done that and then they've gone on to win that match?
I mean, it's happened. It's definitely happened.
It's as far as I know, it's never happened. They always use that to set up the match, but then they always lose that match.
That is go home math. I hear what you're talking about on the go home show.
Not even that. They'll have him win, and then it sets up the match. Like, okay, you beat me in the non-title match, but then it gets to the title match, and the champ always wins. But now there's two champs, so it's like
I thought if Kenny wasn't going to do this Thanos collecting thing, I thought he would have lost to the Laredo Kid at Triple Mania, because that's the time to switch that title, which means I think he's going to hold it for a long time.
Yes, but the way I look at this is I could see Machine Gun Anderson pin Chris Sabin in the match.
I see what you're saying.
And then you build up to the singles match because neither of them, of course, get pinned. And then you build up to a singles match. Then you can have Omega win and then say, I'll put the Impact title up if you put up the AEW title. Because they have been planting seeds of all these invasions because they've been doing the paid commercials for AEW during Impact, and then you see Sami Callihan tweet, "Oh, I'm going to take you all of that offer." So all we know that could happen tonight, next week, and then it plays off into that invasion gimmick that they're going with. But you don't have to waste the whole Omega Swan thing right away. You can build towards that match.
They're definitely getting into this invasion scenario like a warm bath. They're kind of dipping right into it.
Yeah.
Let's move on a little bit. I know they talked on this channel about the best matches and wrestlers of 2020, but you and I, Daniel, are in a unique position because we actually watch everything.
Yeah.
So who do you have as your wrestler of the year? Who do you have as your match of the year?
Are we talking everything, or are we just going to talk New Japan? AEW?
Everything. You could have everything involved. And by the way, everyone can go and look at my full list of the 20 best matches of 2020 on The Buzz. So go to whatsthebuzz.com and check that out.
I did like the Cinematic match with the Cena and Fiend, but for me right now, like because it's fresh in my mind, El Desperado Hiromu Tanahashi is the match of the year for me. Just they went hard for like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah, the mask coming off, and then he was like, "Fuck it," threw it off.
It was so badass. That match was one of the best matches of the year. Yes. I think Hiromu Takahashi is the wrestler of the year. Coming off a broken neck, the year he had was ridiculous. Like you go through from last Wrestle Kingdom when it started against Will Ospreay, and then every single match he had was a banger this year. Every single one. Yeah,
he won that. That was by one of the matches. That was the match. I would say that was the match of last Wrestle Kingdom. It was between that and then Ibushi and Rainmaker.
Okada, yeah.
Okada. And then he goes and wrestles 2 months later. Well, no, like 5 months later, he goes and wrestles Evil in a match where he gets attacked right away. And then
Might have been Evil's best match.
And then they go
It's
ahead
the
and
most drama.
and then which set up the Ishimori win the title back from Takahashi because he was injured, and then he went away and then bulked up, and then he had all those matches. Like every match they did in the Super Juniors tournament were match of the year style. Like he put in 20, 30 minutes.
Even the match against Doki.
He main evented 7 of those. Like he did that. Him against Robbie Eagles was fantastic. The way they were planning the injury to the leg each time, and then every time you didn't think he could top it, he goes and tops it at times 5, and then just like I said, he ends it with the El Desperado match, which just blew things out of the water. Where he's like, I could say Ishimori, but then I want to challenge the Super J Cup champ, and then I'll go after him. Like,
Yeah, he's a badass.
So,
are we in agreement then? Hiromu is the mainline wrestler of the year.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's, and I would say my favorite match of the year is probably Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, but that Hiromu versus El Desperado match, the more I think about it, the more I love it. It was just so beautiful. One guy I want to talk about that he doesn't get a lot of play on the buzz is Go Shiozaki. He has had a crazy year for Noah. He's got one of the matches on my top 20 list. You guys should just go check out any main event that Go did for Noah this year. He was just an animal out there. You love the strong style stuff, Daniel. You love the striking. He had this match against Katsuyuki Nakajima. I'm butchering these names. I'm sorry, but you should go watch this Nakajima match because it's one of the scariest apron spots I've ever seen, and it's one of the hardest hitting matches I've ever seen. He deserves some credit, so go check out Go. Do you have any predictions for 2021, Daniel?
You know what? Like, I'm trying to think about this because I got a couple of mine. What are yours first?
So my biggest prediction is Kenny Omega is going to win all the titles in Impact. He's going to keep his AEW title. He's going to be looking at the New Japan title, and who's going to hold it but his best friend Kota Ibushi. And it's going to be one of the greatest stories ever told in wrestling across 3 promotions. It's going to be badass. That's my hope and prediction for 2021.
I could see that if they hold that all the way to Wrestle Kingdom 16.
It could be. We could see Kenny Omega with all the titles trying to capture the one more title from his best friend, Kota Ibushi.
But my prediction is the rise of Hiromu Takahashi. That's my prediction. He's gonna win the big one this year, this upcoming year.
So you think he's gonna win the title,
Yes.
or at least the Intercontinental title, hopefully?
The world title. I think he's ready. He's proved it. He's kicked it out of the park. And then what better way? Like I thought about this during the show. What better time to have him win it than to have him win it from Will Ospreay, possibly, or defend it against him? To have 2 big super junior wrestlers who come up at the same time wrestle each other for the title.
2 guys that are just crazy too. Yeah,
And
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, they've already had a banger last year at Wrestle Kingdom 14. They could have another one. Well, like you said, even if it's for the IC title, that they've already played it, and then Will Ospreay has already said that that was one of his favorite matches because what it did for him, and then how much of a veteran Hiromu is, and how much he elevates his opponent to the next level with how he does.
Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about El Desperado. What's his 2021 gonna be like? I mean, he just had a killer match with a young lion Uemura during that Super Juniors tournament. He had a killer match with Hiromu, obviously, and probably the match of the year. Is he gonna win some gold here besides just the junior tag belts?
I was going to say he is a champion right now, so I don't think just yet. I think he will. I think it would be more realistic if they had him win like the never open weight or something like that. That would be good because he's technically not from there. I believe he's from Mexico, so that would make it realistic.
Desperado?
Yeah.
Desperado, I believe, is Japanese, even though I think he moved to Mexico early in his life.
Well, that's what I mean.
Train.
That's why he's El Desperado.
Yeah.
His background there. Yeah, but I think that would make it better, like to start out with that, because he needs to build himself up first. And I think this is him starting to build himself up.
What's your 2020 prediction for Tanahashi? Are we going to see him fade away into the background, or is he going to be rejuvenated?
I personally think this is going to be his last match at Wrestle Kingdom. Last match, or possibly maybe one more match after that. Like,
they do retirement tours, though, Daniel. Like, they sell tickets on retirements. So,
yeah.
like, they had Jushin Thunder Liger. He had a year-long, retirement.
But they announced that. He said, I'm going to do this, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like...
Who do you see retiring in 2021? We're probably going to get one. Do you think it's going to be one of the New Japan dads? Do you think it is going to be Tanahashi?
But you got to remember, though, he technically retired before that because he wasn't wrestling that much.
Who's that, Tana?
Yeah, no, Jushin. He wasn't wrestling.
Yeah.
I think he wrestled like once or before that year. Last year, he wrestled once or twice a year, and then he decides to wrestle more often for his like you said, his retirement tour. He wrestled more just to do it, but he was basically done wrestling before that.
Do you think we see any of these guys go on a retirement tour? Do you think we see Kojima and Tenzan go out? Do you think we see Nagata go out? Do you think we see Tanahashi go out?
I think we see Tanahashi go out, but I
think he's got some time.
But it could just be what they're doing with the old guys, where he retires from the main event scene.
It could be, yeah. And I don't know. I think we're definitely going to get a retirement from the New Japan dads. I think it might be Tenzan. I don't know. I don't know if Kojima is going to go with him. He seems like he's got a lot to give, Kojima, still.
But
so I'd like to see him do it.
But going into the last topic that we had before we get going, we got a Gamer and Drive coming up at 9 o'clock. So definitely tune in as they break down the last week of the season, and then you see what teams make the playoffs and what teams they don't think make the playoffs. But the last thing we have is, of course, everybody knows the tragic passing of Brodie Lee. You've heard from all the wrestlers and fans of how great of a guy he was. Like, he was a guy that you could talk to, hang out with. It seemed like everybody were fans of his. You had Randy Orton coming out with that big speech on, I think, IG about how their wives are like really good friends, and then how he could talk to him at any time. They sit in the back of the bus and then just like talk to each other, talk like, because he's a family man. He has kids, and like that was his thing. He wanted to do things so his son could see everything.
I'm sure that hit home because I know it did for me. It probably hit home for you too, seeing a son, a family without a father. I know me and you are family guys.
Yep.
We want to just, pay our respects, send all the love we can to his family right now. Brodie was awesome. I think the coolest thing about Brodie Lee is he told the WWE to go F themselves. He said, this stupid tag team stuff isn't cutting it for me. I could do more. I'm going to AEW, and he bet on himself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's totally inspirational.
Which
Um,
which Randy Orton said that he pardoned him for in those speech that he had, that he pardoned him for betting on himself, and then know that he was worth more. And then I like the little small things that guys did to honor him, like on Raw. You had Xavier Woods had this armband on, and it said Brodie on it.
yeah, and he did the spinning lariat.
Lariat.
Everyone was, yeah,
And then you had Big E put out a tweet that showed a picture of them two, and he was like, on this night, me and him hung out, watched MMA and football, and then we prank called and harassed Tyler Breeze. It was like every wrestler seemed to have their own opinion and then their own thing with Brodie, and then Christian came out and was like, he was part of my fantasy hockey league because we bonded over hockey. Everybody seemed to bond with him, and it's like, for a guy that just started to get this main event traction, how did he have this big of an effect over everybody? Because he's done stuff with everybody, like from Bray to Randy Orton, Moxley, he's the AEW with Cody.
I would like to point out a match that he did with Shingo Takagi. So before he was with WWE, you guys should go check out a match he did with Shingo. It's a pretty good match.
Yeah.
I also loved his character on Being the Elite. I don't know if you saw it. It was essentially just a jacked up version of Vince McMahon. He would freak out at the littlest things. He would throw papers in people's faces. It was pretty entertaining. I think 2020 is a big year of wasted potential. Like, he could have easily been a top guy in any promotion he was. We also lost Hannah Kimura in Stardom. She had more talent than anyone I've ever seen. It's a bummer of a year. So I don't know. I'd just like to again say, all the love we can send out to the family and fans of Brodie Lee. We definitely want to do that. What was your favorite Brodie Lee moment?
I think he was good in there, but then underrated one was when he did that work with Randy Orton, when Randy Orton turned on him.
Where the Wyatt family broke up. I was going to say the same thing.
He broke up, and he's like, he's turning on him. He's going to turn on us. And then he had that battle royal he won, and then he fought Randy Orton. I think that was some of his the best work there. Even that match he had at the TLC when for the Intercontinental title with Dolph Ziggler, I thought that was a great moment. Like they put him in some good matches, and then it just happened that he had injuries, or like Rowan had injuries that halted his growth, and then they had to go away from him because it was a long term, and he sat there, and that's why he had to bet on himself, because WWE at that time would only see him as a tag team specialist. But we're running out of time now. But just like I said, we want to remember Brodie Lee for the great times, and then we're gonna all miss him. And we send condolences to his family. But before we get to go, I'm gonna play the video for our schedule here at the Buzz. We just added a few more shows to the lineup. Eventually, I'm gonna try and get a Cage by Q on a more seeable schedule than once a month with how the MMA has blown up. But here's the schedule right now at the Buzz.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day.
Once
All right,
again,
see you guys.
yep. And
Everyone go watch Game Winning Drive.
Yep. Just like you said, once again, we're the Buzz. We got all these shows, and then in a couple minutes, when we come off, definitely switch over and watch Game and Drive. And I'm Dan. This is Gary, and you guys have a nice night.